Hey creative friends! In this video, I want to look at the Kuretake Granulating watercolors. I'll be doing some swatching and painting some jellyfish. Well, here it is out of the box. It's interesting because there's 6 pans, but there's only 5 colors. So the 6th blank pan is meant to be like a mixing area. I'm using some cold pressed watercolor paper from Canson and using a spray bottle to add some water to the paints. And I'm actually going to use my ceramic palette instead of that empty palette to mix, because I don't think I'm actually going to be doing a lot of mixing, but I just wanted to see all 5 colors at once. Maybe if I was using just one color at a time, I would use that empty pan. I'm using the first color, the Aurora Red, and yeah, just as I'm swirling it in the palette, you can already see the color separation. But let's also see how the pigment particles also separate. In the box itself, all 5 colors kind of look the same, so I think it'll be really important not to get them mixed up. I'm using a round size 8 brush and lots of water. You'll see me adding some more paint or grabbing some more water, but for these granulating watercolors to really show its best effects, you want to use a lot of water. So make sure that your brush is thoroughly wet, but make sure that you have enough pigment too. Wow, you can already see, yeah, the color separation. I'm also dropping in some water droplets to see how, when the water droplet pushes the pigment particles away from itself, just what kind of blooms it creates. The Aurora Red almost looks more like a purple rather than just a reddish color, but still very, very pretty. I can see the red pigment particles for sure, kind of separating. So let's go ahead and put all of the rest of the colors just in the ceramic palette. I think what I'm realizing is that maybe the Aurora blank color is the color that's going to be separating out, because the Aurora orange looks more greenish, but if you look really closely, you can see some of the red-orange particles kind of coming out. So I think that's what they mean by the color names. Just add a little bit of water to these paint puddles, and let's keep swatching. I have to say, yeah, just swatching these out is such a joy. I think the beauty of watercolor is really letting the paint do its thing. And I think with granulating watercolors, yeah, this is exactly what you're meant to do. So here's a close-up of the palette. I mean, just look at the color separation. Like, you don't get that with just regular watercolors. It's really stunning up close, like almost to the point where I don't want to wash this palette. It's so pretty. All right, so let's put these paints into practice. I'm gonna fill this page with some Jellyfish. I'm still using my round size 8 brush. And again, I'm using a lot of water, a lot of wet on wet effect. But I wanna see these colors just at its strongest value and at its most transparent values. You'll see me use a lot of the wet on wet technique. I'm not gonna mix the colors as much together. I don't think these colors, or just granulating watercolors in general, I don't think they're meant to necessarily be mixed. And actually the Kuretake Gansai Tambi watercolors, even just the regular watercolor pans, they're supposed to be used just on its own. It's just the way that Japanese watercolors are a little bit different than Western style. Like, you can use them just on their own and you don't have to mix them. And that's why they usually come in a set of like 24 to 48 colors, because you just want to have all those colors on hand since it's not meant to necessarily be mixed. But yeah, I'm just letting the paint just really flow and do its thing. I'm not trying to force it to, go a certain way or to dry a certain way. And I think that's really important when it comes to working with granulating watercolors and the wet on wet effect. All right, I'm adding just a little bit more details here and there, and then adding some splatter because why not? I have some paint left over, so let's do it. I really like how this turned out, and I really love just letting the paint do its thing. Just mixing on its own, being spontaneous. All right, in this part of the video, I wanted to do a little bit more swatching, but this time just have like individual swatches rather than one continuous graded wash. And I think I just wanted to see what the paint looks like when it's at its strongest, darkest value. Because I think in my first swatch, I added a lot of water, so I didn't really see it when it's more opaque. And granted, when it's more opaque, you don't see as much of the granulation happening. So I just wanted to see what it looks like when it is happening more gradually, like I'm trying to do here. So the first and second swatch are a little bit more opaque, and then the next two are a little bit lighter. It's always good to just, play around with your paints and just see what happens. And so that's really all I'm doing. And I encourage you guys to do the same. It's not always about just trying to make perfect little things or even perfect swatches. There's no such thing, but whatever you can do to learn more about your paints. And so that might look different for you and me. What you might value in your paints might be different than what I value. And that's okay, just as long as you're learning and having fun through the process. All right, well, that was definitely a lot of fun. I think doing this kind of swatching reminded me that you can still use these granulating watercolors at its darkest value. And even though you might not see a lot of the color separation or the actual granulation happening, but just at its darkest value, like they are still stunning colors. They are a little bit more muted than I would like. And I don't know if Kuretake plans on having more granulating colors available. But I think this is a great start, and I feel like they do granulate very easily. The colors do feel a little bit similar, like the first and fourth one, the Aurora Red and the Aurora Blue seem a little similar, as well as the Aurora Pink and the Aurora Violet. Like they just lean towards red or blue, in either one of those, but they do feel a little bit similar. So I would love to see just a little bit more variation, like more reds or pinks or oranges, and just that they are a little bit more vibrant. So in that sense, like I love the Holbein granulating watercolors. There's a lot more variety in the types of colors in the color range. But if you wanted more muted colors, I mean, these are just as good. So I would love to hear what you guys think. Have you ever tried these granulating watercolors? What is your opinion on granulating watercolors? Let me know in the comments. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel for more videos like this, and like this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Okay, bye.